Welcome, Diecast fans. I'm Tom Spanners-Watson.
And I'm Frank the Geary Gibbs.
And welcome to another week of the Outlaws.
Last week the drivers put on a heck of a show and clocked up some great times. Rubber Toe and the Baroness absolutely mopping up with a 13.090. Vagabond not too shabby either, 13.668. And Redbird set his first time at 14.272. But overall last week, Marco Polo and the stockweight 65 Mustang clocked up the fastest time on the track to date.
Let's see what this week's got in store for us. First up, we've got Bad Apple driven by Sweet Tea, and she is going to be going up against Griffin Cross and Broken Wings.
I'd really like to back Broken Wings, but Griffin Cross has broken my heart more than Sally Jones.
I thought your wife's name was Danielle.
It is. I was talking about my high school sweetheart, Sally Jones. She just kept turning me down and breaking my heart week after week, a lot like Griffin Cross, but Griffin's definitely done it more.
Looks like Sweet Tea's got the jump on Griffin here. He gives her a bit of a nudge from behind. Oh, that sends her into the wall, and he'll sneak around. All he has to do is keep it together.
Let's face it, not a specialty.
Well, he's clean through the last corner, and he'll take the win.
I'd say that was more good luck than good management. Unfortunately, Sweet Tea got a tap in the rear end there, and that just sent you into the wall on the wrong line, and Griffin Cross slipped around, takes the win, and a 14.912.
Now, if you haven't caught up with the news, there's been massive flooding and constant rain in New Zealand over the last week, particularly in Auckland. A lot of homes got ruined, and it's definitely affected the track. We're expecting times to be a lot slower this week.
Oh, mate, it's so hot and wet here at the moment. I feel like I've got a steam cooker in my undies.
Oh my God, that's disgusting, Frank.
If you think that's disgusting, you should see my butt crack.
No thanks.
It's practically like a waterfall back there. It's so sweaty.
Oh, can we please just focus on the racing? All right, Reaper out in front, Scapegoat on his tail. Reaper holds on through the second corner. Scapegoat gets a little bit loose, drags on the sidewall. That hands the win to Reaper in a fairly pedestrian 16.125 time.
If the moisture in the air and on the track is anything like in my Dax, then I'd say the times are definitely going to be slower.
Well, at least with this racing, you don't have to be quick necessarily. You've just got to cross the line first. So we've got Broken Wings up against Reaper. The winner of this race will go on to challenge the number 10 gatekeeper on the list. And both of these drivers battling hard as they go through Bogan Alley, literally side by side. Reaper getting pushed up on the track. Griffin Cross gives him a nudge through that second dogleg. That sends him wide. Cross spins around, but he's going to take the win and challenge Bane for the number 10 spot.
What a fantastic race here from both drivers. Look at this. Reaper gets up on the sidewall, but he's still not backing down. He keeps his foot floored. Griffin Cross does the only thing he can, gives it a little bit more gas, gets out in front, and then swipes the front of Reaper's car and takes the win with a very slow 17.597, but crikey, what a way to do it.
Now, Bane only recently got on the list, and he's in that gatekeeper spot, which Kit Kaum got knocked out of last week by a healthy scratch.
I know Kit was gutted by his short-lived run on the list, but I'm sure he'll be back another day. But Nux driving Bane is definitely quick, so I think Griffin Cross has got his work cut out from here.
Nux getting a slight lead into Bogan Alley, but here comes Griffin Cross right up on his tail. Griffin Cross is all over the back of Bane here, and he's flipped him over. He gets clean past it, he'll take the win, and he takes out a truck.
Little bit of dirty play, but you know, Rubin's racing, and oh look, the bus is coming to help the truck there by the look of it. Oh no, he's just got a schedule to keep.
That was such a tight race into this last corner, but check this out. Griffin Cross taps the back of Bane at exactly the right time and manages to score a nice little drift as well, and that set him up for the run to the finish line. And then of course he comes down and takes out the truck.
You might notice by its absence the fed up truck's not there because the driver got fed up and he's gone on strike.
But what about all the packages he has to lose?
Well, this time they're just losing them in the depot instead. But Bane off the list already, Broken Wings on, and I gotta say I'm really impressed with Griffin Cross this time round.
Broken Wings definitely showing out this week. I mean, he's been quick, and when he's on form, he is tough to beat. But unfortunately for him, he's been off form too often.
And that's why he breaks my heart.
JB and Healthy Scratch playing dirty, but Griffin Cross keeps it together somehow.
Griffin Cross is so on form this week.
And he's clean through. He takes the win, and he's just hit the Bogan, baby.
I mean, I know the Bogans don't care about road safety, but crikey, oh my goodness, he almost got taken out by the blinking bus as well.
Well, he doesn't seem fazed by it at all.
Well, look, I don't think he's the sharpest knife in the drawer. In fact, I'd say if you asked him, he probably knows what colour crayon tastes the best. And I'm pretty sure that his family tree has so few branches, it's probably more of a circle.
Yeah, there definitely wouldn't be many forks on that tree. But is it just me, or was Griffin Cross actually aiming for that kid?
Well, I guess there was no truck in sight for him to take out that time.
So Griffin Cross takes the win with a 14.574 time. That's actually pretty quick, especially in this weather, and he take the number 9 spot away from JB in Healthy Scratch.
I'm so impressed with Griffin Cross and Broken Wings this time, but I think Munted might be the end of his run.
Hawthorne Sung is certainly a tough competitor. He was only just beaten out by TKO last week.
And look at him go there, what a huge acceleration.
Hawthorne Sung feeds at the Jandal, gets out in front, but Griffin Cross trying to catch up. Munted drifts out of the corner. He pulls left when he should have gone right. Griffin Cross picks up the opportunity, sneaks right by him.
Holy ham sandwiches, Batman, that was incredible. Well, look at this. Munted got a bit of a drift. They both go to the right. I think Hawthorne Sung thought Griffin Cross was going to quickly cut to the other side, but he didn't. And unfortunately, that just opened the door wide for Griffin Cross.
And even under all sorts of pressure from Munted again, and getting a slight tap in the rear end, he manages to hold on. Munted tries to get around him into that final straight, but what a run from Griffin Cross.
Finally, we're getting to see what Broken Wings can actually do, other than just crashing and being a disappointment.
I'm really surprised, but what a phenomenal drive from Griffin Cross and Broken Wings. He now takes on TKO, driven by Boxer.
Sly old Boxer has been playing possum a lot with different drivers recently, where he just hangs back enough to let the other driver think they're under pressure, overcorrect, crash, and then he'll sneak by for the win.
Although it didn't work against Rubber Toe last week, Griffin Cross out with a huge leap, and he starts to spin. Here comes Boxer, and Boxer just slips right by him.
We're going to have to start calling that overtaking maneuver the Boxer. Crikey, I can't believe he's pulled it off so many times.
Look, I think Griffin Cross was really trying to push for a fast time there. He just got some air coming out of that dog leg, and unfortunately that sent him into a spin. By the time he got the car pointed in the right direction, Boxer had not only caught up, he'd driven right past him.
Well, props to Boxer for that one. Nice drive. So he halts Broken Wings' run, but Broken Wings on the list now at number 8, so at least he's safe.
And JB now in Healthy Scratch, the gatekeeper, and the gatekeepers haven't been doing well recently.
You could say that. It's basically like they're just handing the keys over to the person that comes up to challenge him.
TKO on the inside, Xanthropy driving Click on the outside, out with a big lead, but a terrible line into that first corner in Bogan Alley. For whatever reason, Xanthropy just having all sorts of problems turning left there.
I don't know if there's something wrong with the steering in her car or what, but she's really going to have to sort that out.
Yeah, look, she's definitely had some trouble with the new track. She was top of the old track a number of times, but is just absolutely struggling now.
So Boxer pulls the Boxer, sneaks on by, takes the win with a 14.952, and he'll move up to the number 6 spot, and he's going to take on the Baroness again.
Hopefully Boxer's learnt his lesson from last week, and he's not going to let Rubber Toe get out to such a big lead, because he got smoked last week.
Yeah, he got smoked like Snoop Dogg at a concert.
So Rubber Toe won the toss, takes the inside lane. The Baroness has looked good so far, and there he goes again, out to a massive lead, just leaving Boxer in his dust.
Boxer's really going to have to pull one out of the bag if he's going to catch up to Rubber Toe.
The Baroness drifts into the third corner, but he overcooks it, he gets stuck. Boxer hits him. Rubber Toe just cuts in front of him to make sure he can't slip around him.
I think Rubber Toe got a little bit overconfident here. You'll see he starts to pull off a nice drift, but unfortunately he just gave it the beans too early. That kicked the rear end around, but luckily for him, Boxer couldn't avoid him, clipped the rear end of the Baroness, got Rubber Toe going again, and he just cut across in front of Boxer to take the win.
So from a commanding lead to a sketchy finish, it doesn't matter. Rubber Toe takes the win with probably one of his slowest times, over 16 seconds.
Which is still pretty quick considering the Baroness stalled out in that third corner for a while.
Oh, this should be fun. A grudge match. Redbird taking down the Baroness literally last week.
Yeah, Daddy G and Redbird there just hitting the rear end of Rubber Toe as they went into Bogan Alley, and that flipped Rubber Toe over, handing the win to Daddy G, and I'm sure Rubber Toe wants payback.
The Baroness catches right up to Redbird, tries to go up the inside. Daddy G shuts the door. Can the Baroness have another crack? Here he goes, he tries again, but Redbird holds him out right at the finish line.
This was such a phenomenal race. Rubber Toe didn't want to get knocked over, so he hung back through that first corner and then was all over Daddy G. Look at this move. He slips up the inside. Daddy G didn't back down. He fed at the jandal, just stayed ahead. But neither driver backed down, and Rubber Toe had another crack as they went into the final straight.
Those two drivers were so tight the whole way down, and exiting this last corner, you see Rubber Toe there cut to the inside. Daddy G sees him in the rearview mirror, slings across in front of him, just takes the win and tries to take out the billboard.
And considering that was such a back and forth battle, Daddy G actually beat his best time with that 13.997 now.
Well, that's what happens when you get two of the best builders driving against each other like that.
Well, here's another fan favourite and top competitor, Bobby Orr driving Cave-In, going up against Daddy G and Redbird.
Bobby Orr was top of the list on the old Canyon for a long time, but just recently suffering losses to Big Mac and Vagabond and Mr. Dark driving Thrasher. But Daddy G spins, Bobby Orr catches right up, Daddy G gets going again, Cave-In spins a bit too much in that third corner, Daddy G will take the win and Cave-In spot along with it.
I really thought Bobby Orr had this one. Redbird got a little bit high, got up on 2 wheels, started his spin. Cave-in comes through, but unfortunately, he just clipped the back of Daddy G's car and then straightened him up and just put him back into the lead.
And that's another week, another defeat for Bobby Orr driving Cave-in. That's a real shame.
But at least if you're going to lose, you're losing to a fast driver. Daddy G and Redbird clocking up some good times.
Well, of course, Daddy G and Redbird was top of the list at the old track for quite a while as well.
Daddy G certainly seems to like the longer straights of this new track. It's really allowing him to get Redbird up to speed.
So now Redbird takes on Thrasher, driven by Mr. Dark. Mr. Dark, a top competitor on a number of tracks, and he's been so close to the top of the list for a long time. Is tonight going to be his time? No, he just caught the back of Daddy G's car. That sent him sideways into Bogan Alley and blew his line through that first corner, and Daddy G running away with an easy win there.
Disappointing for Mr. Dark, but don't worry, I'm sure he'll be back. And Redbird fires up a 14.685. Not as quick as time in the night, but still faster than a lot of the other drivers anyway.
So Daddy G on form, going up against Big Mac, who hasn't lost a race in like 13 or 14 races. This is going to be a tough one.
If we just go by the track times, Vagabond's got it slightly over Redbird, but everything can change during a race.
Both cars side by side into Bogan Alley. Big Mac just sneaks ahead. He goes hot into the second dogleg, but keeps it together. A clean line down to the third corner, and he's going to take the win.
That tiny little bit of extra speed really helping out Vagabond there. Look at this. They were side by side, but Big Mac kept his right foot buried for a fraction of a second longer, and there was enough to get him into the lead. And look at that, he's posted a sub 14 time as well.
So Vagabond, driven by Big Mac, holds on to his number one spot, but Redbird is knocking on the door.
I gotta say, I love that the list is getting shaken up every week. You just never know who's going to go down and who's going to go up.
There's been some fantastic racing tonight, but overall, I think my favourite has to be the race between the Baroness and Redbird.
I was a right bonza, mate. They battled all the way from the start line all the way to the finish, and neither of them backing down.
Why not leave us a comment down below and let us know which was your favourite race of the night?
And if you've enjoyed the racing, don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're not already, we'd really appreciate it if you subscribed as well.
And of course, remember to hit that notification bell so that you get notified every time we release a video.
This new track is providing tons of action. If you haven't seen the Mustangs, you want to check that one out as well, because they've been tearing it up.
And of course, those videos are supporting Poor Justice.
That's right, and you can help support Poor Justice simply by watching the video. How cool is that?
Alright, that's enough from us tonight. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Tom Spanners Watson, he's Frank the Guru Gibbs, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Man, that was some great racing, but I'm glad it's over. Now I can go home and air out my undercarriage because it's hotter than Channing Tatum down there.